everyone. Raina again with Mountain View Fire Rescue. Today we're going to go over some quick bleeding control tips. Helpful to know when we're all getting out and enjoying the great outdoors for the summer. We want to make sure that we know how to control some basic bleeding. Okay? So first thing we're going to go over is direct pressure. So we're going to show you using some of these 4x4 gauze pads. These are things that you'd want to have in your first aid kit. Okay? We're also going to use some Curlex or Cling roller gauze. This is nice to have at least one of these in your first aid kit or in your hiking pack with you. Okay? All right. So let's say that I end up with a laceration on my arm, and that's just a fairly deep cut. We'll say it's right here on my arm. Okay? So the first thing we want to do is apply one layer of clean gauze to it. We're going to hold it right on there. And if the person who's injured is able to hold that right on there and just kind of press and squeeze, that's great. You may have to assist the person with that, and that's fine too. So you're going to hold that on there. Okay. And then you just give it a few seconds, and then you see if it's starting to bleed through that gauze. And if it is bleeding through that gauze, we want to make sure we leave this gauze in place, and then we're just going to add to it. Okay. So we'll take another clean gauze, add it right over the top, and give it a little squeeze. Just hold that pressure down, okay? The reason we don't want to remove the first gauze is because it could pull out a clot. If the clot has already started to form and we remove the gauze, it could interfere with that clotting process. So we're going to hold that direct pressure on there, okay? And we'll take a look after a few seconds, and if it has stopped the bleeding, then we'll go ahead and use our roller gauze to wrap it up, all right? Now, because I only have two hands, I'm going to simulate on our pool noodle here as though this were our arm. Okay. So we've got our first level of gauze in place. If we need to apply a second level, we'll put that on there with direct pressure. And then we'll take our clean roller gauze, and you'll just wrap it. Now you want this to be snug, but you don't want it to be so tight that the person starts to have tingly or pins and needles feeling in their fingertips. If they're losing any sensation in their fingertips, that means we've got this a little bit too tight, okay? This is not meant to be like a tourniquet type effect. This is just meant to hold the gauze in place and to cover the wound to keep the area clean, okay? So you want to cover all the way around your gauze, okay? And then when you want to finish it off, you can cut this if you'd like to, or you can do a couple of twists in it. Okay. Wrap it one more time, and then that twist gives you a chance to tuck it in tight like that. Okay, that keeps it pretty snug and secure. And what I like about this versus cutting the gauze is if we needed to apply some more 4x4s and rewrap it to control the bleeding, we'd have that gauze left and we could tighten it down versus cutting it. You kind of eliminate that option. Okay? So if you needed to do this, do a little bleeding control and dressing. As soon as you get home from that hiking trip or off that mountain, you want to go ahead and seek medical care, either at urgent care, or you could take yourself to the ER, but generally speaking, this should control minor bleeding. If it bleeds through all of this, that's when you would know that it's probably beyond something that you can handle on your own, and you might want to seek professional medical care. Okay? But this is going to take care of most of your minor cuts and lacerations that you might experience. Okay? So for any other safety information, just visit our website, mvfpd.org. And we have a lot of good information for you there to stay safe this summer.